Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Confused to Focus Talks with Takisha. This is where we go through a journey from feeling stuck to becoming unstuck. I'm so excited about this particular episode, family, because we're going to have a great conversation. Definitely, where we're talking about. I am a coach, family. I am a midlife empowerment coach, definitely wanting women and men for them to be unstuck, for them to triumph, and definitely understand that they have a purpose and they have a well-being in life. And I'm so excited about this conversation. Listen, we're going to have an amazing conversation with amazing guests. Her name is Takisha Wilson. She is a licensed therapist, family, and she's a mentor. And guess what? She is a business owner. And you know what? She is one of the amazing speakers and coaches that's going to be in the amazing summit called Break Free from Talented, Break Free from Confused and Focus Talks with Takisha, and definitely for us to move forward ahead. It's the Breaking Free from Toxic Patterns Summit, family. I had to do that again. And I'm so excited about this conversation we're going to have. Let's get into this amazing conversation because we're going to be able to talk about some of the issues that she's going to go through. This issues that she's been through and she's recovered. And I promise you, it's something that she's going to share with us that's really going to influence us today. Definitely when it comes to finances, when it comes to just feeling like you can't move forward. You know what? She's going to let us know how we can move forward from life, from the family. I promise you, it's going to be a great conversation. So definitely talking about how with financial distress and navigating through life trials. You know what? I need some navigation. Definitely, she's going to show us how we're going to navigate it to it. So, family, let's get into it. Don't forget to subscribe to this amazing YouTube channel. And don't forget to invite a friend for this conversation because you're going to be enlightened today. So, we're going to go ahead and bring Takisha Wilson onto the stage, family. I'm so excited for this conversation. Oh, yes. Takisha, how are you today?
Hello, Lakeisha. How are you? I am well. Thank you, Queen, for allowing me to be here once again. I deeply appreciate it. And I'm excited to be here to share the knowledge, the wisdom that I have, and my personal story, my personal testimony, and how I overcame. And then still, there's some things that I'm working on now. So, the journey of healing is an ongoing process, the journey of loving yourself and loving who you are and realizing your true identity and purpose. It's a constant walk. It's a constant learning experience. And we never stop learning, we never stop growing, and we never stop evolving. And that's why I'm here today, just to give some light on some things that people may be experiencing in regards to finances, in regards to their financial trauma. And that is really such a word. And then how does some tips, some small tips on what they could do to start moving forward. And then I got to save the rest for the event. I can't give it all away now.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. When we try to overcome through when we talk about everything when it comes to finances, sometimes it can be scary. And a lot of times if you never really had success in the area, if you grow with a family that maybe had a lot of money, and they just didn't really communicate well with it, or you didn't have money and you go through that struggles too. I feel like it's the same. Like, do you feel like things are like that are the same with both platforms, money with money or without?
Yes, it is definitely the same. I remember just to set some light on a little bit about my story and my childhood experiences. I just remember growing up and money was used as a form of manipulation in my household growing up. And I remember, and I didn't think about this until I started going or working on my journey to heal and the healing process, just in all areas of my life. Like I said, I think that I'm over something. I'm like, oh God, I still got to deal with this. I thought I was done with this, and you have things that still comes up. But one of the things that I remember is that we needed lunch money. We was on reduced lunch. We have money. We was considered middle class, but we still qualified for reduced lunch. And I remember that it, and I hate that. Well, I remember, and I'll just say this: my stepfather, God bless his soul, he passed away, and I am not trying to degrade him in any kind of way. And I just realized that he experienced things in his life, and he was doing the best that he could, or what he knew how. So, just by any means, I'm not trying to bash anyone in my family or put any negative things out there. but this is the truth in regards to the healing process that I had to take. And I've said all of that because I know people that I love will see this, and I just want them to understand. But I remember we needed lunch money, the reduced lunch, a dollar, I think $1.20. And every morning we had to go and ask him for the lunch money. And he knew, so it was never a good experience. It wasn't an experience as far as, oh, go ask your dad, show your dad love and appreciation for giving you money, or you show appreciation to your parents. It was more of kind of like a servant master type of, that's what it reminded me of every day. He knew that we needed lunch money, and why did I have to go and ask you every morning? And I know that some families didn't have to go through that. I know that their parents, even if they needed $5 and they knew they needed money for the bus or to get a snack, that it would be waiting for them for the it would be waiting there for them. And so I kind of felt that was my first kind of experience with money and with someone that cares for you and protects you and love you. But I said it was more of that master servant, and that's how I felt with that experience. And so the relationship with money and with coming with a man, it wasn't a good experience. And I remember also just things being really tough, or it was more of a controlling process. I'll just say that for now. Just in the household with the finances, everything was really controlled. And it wasn't to the point where, okay, we have to save money, we have to budget, we're trying to knock some bills down. It was really just to use as a form of control and manipulation. And I saw that. I saw that my mom experienced that. We experienced that as children growing up. And it made me say to myself, I do not ever want to be in this situation. I want to be financially independent. I don't want to go through this. And that was really my path to seeking financial independence, where I knew that I had to go to school. I had to go to school to get my to a bachelor's degree and master's degree, because I saw that as a way out. Now, for me, in that regard, it worked in my favor. But however, I still never understood or learned how to manage money properly, how to budget money, how to invest, how to grow money, how to sustain money. All I knew is that I needed to achieve and to have a way or a source to get out of this financial distress and be able to provide for myself and do things that I knew that I wanted. And I knew that I had to seek an education. At that time, that's what God put in my heart, to seek an education to get those things done. And I did all those things. I went to college, got my bachelor's degree, got my master's degree, and still went through the worst financial hardship in my entire life. And what I mean by that is, when I lost my job, I didn't really know my purpose. And this was years ago. I really didn't know my purpose. I really didn't know my true identity in Christ. And so when I lost my job, I didn't know, or to think, okay, I have God put this in my hand. I could create this. I can do this. I didn't have that. I don't want to say hustler spirit, but that survivor spirit. I didn't really have that. It was kind of like, oh my God, what should I do? I'm afraid. And I panicked. I went to a mode of panicking. And but God brought so many opportunities to me. And because my mind was still in like a closed, dark space, I didn't have I didn't really see all the things that he was bringing to my attention. And I think I spoke about this before. And one of the things I want to talk about is, God blessed me to meet this amazing woman who was an entrepreneur, started her own business, and she took me under her wing. And she said, Takisha, you can see clients here in my office. You do not have to pay office space or rent space. You can see clients. You can start, see. I'm thinking, what clients can I see? Because at that time I wasn't licensed yet, and I still needed hours and due to other things to get my license. And I didn't think, okay, I could start a coaching program. She helped me break into the financial industry as well. I didn't have the wherewithal to say, oh, let me go get some clients for retirement, life insurance. I just didn't have it in me. I don't know, something was missing. And I took advantage of the opportunity, but in a different way, but I didn't maximize the opportunity. And do you know she offered to pay for me to sit for my license, to sit for my exam to get my license. But I didn't take it because I didn't feel like I was prepared or I wasn't serious enough where I studied for the license. I was studying here and there. So my mindset was just wholly in a different place. And you know what? And we still have to be careful because we go to church and we get all of this word, but are you really applying it? Are you really hearing? And you should always pray, God, give me wisdom. How do I apply this word to my life and make it an action where it's producing results that you know that I can achieve? We need to constantly be in prayer. God, oh, bring awareness to me. God, show me what I may be missing. Bring things to my light. Lighten things up to everything because that was a wonderful opportunity. It was one of the worst moments in my life and one of the best moments in my life. I mean, she was a true mentor because I started my business working with her. She helped me start my business where I got my LLC. I learned how to apply for the LLC, learned how to get my business bank account. I was meeting wonderful people and I did some coaching programs with her. We did some joint coaching programs together. And but I didn't move. I didn't go forward. I still had that mindset of the 9 to 5 mentality. And I did say I'm gonna really try to work this. I'm gonna really try to give this entrepreneurship opportunity a full go. But because I didn't have the skill set, enough of the skill set, I end up just being in a bad place financially and did not maximize the opportunity. Yeah. So yeah.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this conversation. So you're telling us that, first of all, you went through a process and, you felt the overwhelmed, need of needing somebody to help you out with it. And then the answers were just laid up on you and you just knew that you needed, this particular person became a mentor, became the coach for you, became that guide for you. And the fact that you received everything in that process, just perfectly, you began to understand and value that need. I mean, I just feel like that's truly amazing. A lot of people may not see that. Just everything in your life was just truly laid out for you. I really appreciate that.
And you know what? God has done this for me over and over again. And, that brings me to my next point to really discuss the psychological elements of financial trauma. It's real. Just like you have post traumatic stress disorder or traumatic stress disorder or trauma, it's the same thing for your finances. And I'm only going to discuss probably one or two, probably two or three. But the first one at the top of the list is fear and anxiety. And financial trauma often includes chronic fear about money. People may live in constant fear of not having enough, losing what they have, making financial mistakes, and anxiety. And that's what I had. That's what started happening to me. I really started having that fear and anxiety. Oh my God. Again, I didn't know enough of my skill set. I didn't have the confidence enough in who I was at the time, the skill sets and the gifts that God put in my hand. And I couldn't capitalize. So then I started becoming afraid. And because I started becoming afraid and letting fear and anxiety sink in, I stopped really going after all of what was provided for me as far as the opportunity. And that's how I ended up in my more of the financial trauma. I end up losing my job, losing my car, filing for bankruptcy, my home going into foreclosure so many times. It was just a crazy place because I didn't have the skills. And I didn't even ask the mentor that was helping me, hey, do you know how I can get out of this situation? I was trying to handle it all on my own. But the fear part came in because when I did finally get to a place where I got over that hump and I had money coming in, do you know I just saved all the money? Like I didn't want to do anything with it. I just wanted to keep it all and not spend it because I said, oh God, I don't want to be in this situation again. So it's good to save, but then I didn't know how to build and I didn't know how to sustain. And I was living paycheck to paycheck. And I had money to pay certain bills. But you know what I said to myself? Well, I'm just going to see if I could get forbearance. I'm going to see if I can get a deferment. I'm going to see if I can get a payment plan. I'm going to see if I can get help by the state. God said, God bless the child who has their own. He wants us to be fully independent on Him, especially as He gives us the opportunity. I'm not saying those things do not need to happen where people may not need those resources,
Right.
but I should not have acted so much like a victim. I had a master's degree when all this happened. Are you freaking serious?
Mm.
You know, I just didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so afraid. And it was to the point where I was under so much distress that I stopped taking care of my financial responsibilities. So that's another thing. Some of the things is avoidance. Oh, you have a bill coming. And so, oh my gosh, the creditors are calling, the bill is coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just put it off and as much as I could. And that's what I did. I said, okay, let me see when the state can help me. Let me see how I can get assistance or whatever, with not losing my home at the time, because they had all those programs. But I have money coming in too. I need to stack it away and save it. That's not how God operates. That's not how He wants us to live in fear or avoidance. He wants us to take care of our responsibilities.
Oh
And
yeah.
I wasn't acting as a true servant or representing Christ. I wasn't operating in faith. It was that fear and that anxiety. So I stopped taking care of a lot of responsibilities and was paying like the main things, like certain things. But like I said, I didn't do my taxes. I mentioned this before. I didn't do my taxes for 3 years. I had never been that way. I always filed my taxes on time before all of this stuff. And like I said, I was in so much distress, I forgot. And I'm thinking, I don't have any money. And then I had 3 years worth of taxes that I did not file. That solved a lot of things immediately. I mean, it was almost to the point where it was almost like $15,000, $18,000. So what in the world was I thinking? I was such in a dark space. I had a scarcity mindset, just operating in fear, didn't have an awareness about who I truly was in Christ at the time. Didn't have that abundance mindset. And that's the thing with everything we do. We have to work on our mindset, and it has to be constant. Constantly, you have to watch what you hear, what you take in, what you're reading, what you're seeing, because you need to change. Because it's so easy to slip back into that place where you don't believe that you can do anything, where you don't, where you have the one of the other ones is shame and guilt. Right. I'm supposed to be the one to help my family get to a better place. I'm going to be the person. God used me. I was a second generation. I was the first one family, in my immediate family, to get a master's degree. I do now, I have cousins that achieved a master's degree and some aunts, but at that time I was the first one. So I'm thinking, so in one way I was operating the word, and the other way that I wasn't. I said, oh, I'm going to break this generational curse. I'm going to be the first in the family to get a bachelor's degree, a master's degree. I'm going to be the first in the family to own my own home and, do this thing on my own. And as my husband would say, he has this new word. It went complete. I said, what is complete? But that's really what happened. So as again, I knew how to get started. I knew how to complete, but I didn't know how to build, and I didn't know how to sustain. And that's one of the major things that I'm going to be talking about also, is how do you build and how do you sustain? How do you right?
Yeah, so we need to know that, honestly, just the processes that you just shared right there. A lot of times we go through that, just feeling, when it comes to, finances, first of all, that's that fear factor. We're just scared. We don't know how to maintain it. We don't know how to handle it. So we pretty much go into that protective mode and things like you just said, and, we pretty much just survive, and we just build the way we know how to build because of the lack of information. And I feel that you pretty much bring on those tools and those resources for us to understand yeah, you can manage this. You can actually achieve this. Just go through it one day at a time. You don't have to go and just react, and just, that fear factor, because a lot of times that does not serve us at all. It really does not serve us. And I feel that, going through that process and been leaning in the way you have done things, that's how we're able to rebuild. You said, of course, you had your masters, and guess what? Family members went and got their masters. They're watching you.
Mhm.
People are watching you. They're really following you, and you are an exhibit of that. And I feel that that's what we're all going to be able to achieve in the knowledge. When it comes to the Breaking Free from Toxic Patterns Summit, because this is real. We're not going to keep laying this aside and not really achieving the success in these areas. We're going to actually break this bondage, and you've done it, and you're sharing it with us today. This
Right.
is
And, there's still areas that I'm working on. Like I said, we're always a constant work in progress, growing and evolving. And I have to be careful because the scarcity mindset or the thoughts may come in and still come in. But again, it's also because people are not really knowing their true identity, not realizing their gifts, their talents, and their purpose, and not realizing who they are and what they have to offer. Because once I started tapping into that, it was really different for me. It really was. And I was able to, I remember applying for this job. I used to apply for jobs that were making like 40, 50, $60,000. And I had an eye opener. I could apply for jobs that make $80,000, $100,000, even more. Of course, you have to have the skills, but I only applied for a certain amount of jobs what I thought that I was qualified for or what I was used to making, not even thinking that I can apply more or excel. Or then how many, I've known so many people that have stayed in jobs and they hate their jobs, but they never thought of themselves enough where I can go get a certification. Maybe I could change my situation. Maybe I can get a bachelor's degree or master's degree. Some people really get stuck in that comfort zone or
mm,
just things are. And I have to fight that constantly too, because I get stuck in a place, every time you grow, you have a new level of growth. But then it's time to grow out. And I remember hearing my bishop, and he would say, and this year, it's time to be uncomfortable. Get used to being uncomfortable. And that's a scary thing when you when you really think about it. Because you know how things are, you know what to expect, you like your routine, you know the level of stress you may get, you don't want to be overwhelmed, all of this stuff. And I'm thinking, I don't want anything to mess up my peace. But the growth sometimes it's called you have to cause disruption, and it's not meaning that it'll mess up your peace, but you can't be comfortable. You can't be comfortable. So those are the things that I will definitely address, talking about fear and anxiety, the shame and guilt, and then the avoidance behavior. And there's so many other things that comes along with dealing with the financial trauma. And then, like I said, the blockage about money. I did not get the revelation about that childhood experience, I think, until like a couple of months ago. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that came to me as far as that. I knew that money was used as a source of control and manipulation in my family. But and I say my family, talking about my household when I was growing up. But I never put the two and two together as far as how it really impacted me and how I made decisions. And so, like I said, that's what I'll be working with people. I'm going to be helping them with that. We're going to discuss some of the behaviors, dealing with issues of low self esteem, low worth, relationship strain, the learned helplessness. Again, as I talked about, well, let me keep my money to the side and then let me see the state what they may have to offer or the grant what may have to offer. That is bondage, really, because when you have to apply for certain programs or do those certain things, it keeps you in a place where, for example, to qualify, you only could make but so much money. So they put a cap on the things that you can do and how much money you make. And with Christ, it's a life full of abundance. It doesn't have to be that way. And so those are the things that I want to talk about. Really walking in total freedom and really walking in that place where we're not walking in fear and knowing who we are and identifying our skill sets. one of the things that I used to do, I used to be a career counselor, and I love doing that because to me that was so closely related to helping people realize their gifts and realize their purpose and their talents in life. And I know their career may not be their purpose, but I believe that it's a jump start to their purpose and some of the things that they might do. So I love doing the career assessments. I love helping people realize that aha moment. This is what I'm good at. This is what I can achieve. This is what I can accomplish. And so they have that extra confidence. And then it was confirmed, yes, I do like this. Yes, this is what I am good at. And because of that, they can excel in their careers, they can excel in their gifts, they can excel in their talents. It certifies more of their purpose and some of the things that they're supposed to be doing for that particular time and season in their life. And I love doing that because I didn't want students or people to walk around like I did for so long, not really knowing who I am in Christ as far as my skill set, but then having the confidence in the skill set. And once I learned that, like I said, it helped me so many ways. And I'm not saying there's things that I still don't struggle with. There's still things that I do that I need to work on and achieve, but it's an amazing growth process. I have to make sure that I fight against the anxiety that I may feel. I fight against the trauma that may try to come up, those moments that may remind me, okay, you made this mistake with money before, and you're gonna make the same mistake again. So constantly keeping my mindset in a positive high vibration.
Yes. Thank you so much, Takisha. Oh my goodness, technical difficulties were real right there. I'm so glad that you already knew what to do, Queen.
That's
Oh yes, so you already know it. You pretty much went ahead and through it, and definitely everything is going to be mirrored in and bring it right into what we were talking about. So pretty much, I believe what we were talking about as far as the reason why we're doing what we're doing, and the reason why that so many need to understand this information and they need to know how they can achieve that same success, because a lot of times we want to see if we can still do the same things that we did in our life before, especially when we were very young. That same modem, that same mentality, and it really does not work. We got to achieve success in the way that is really going to be beneficial to us, right? So with all that being said, you pretty much answered like everything that was pretty much what we need to have, right? But one thing I wanted to talk about, like the success tools, what situations and success resources that you pretty much have within everything, like which books, like which did you have, like a mentorships platforms that really resonated with you to keep you on your journey.
right. You know what? That's one of the things that, again, always dreamed about participating in coaching programs, doing personal development, such as Les Brown, who was another person, Lisa Nichols, and there are so many great people out there. And I didn't think that I would ever be able to afford it or have the means to do it. And it wasn't until I met my husband. When I first met him, he had just started going to a coaching program for the first time in his life for personal development. And he was so excited about it. And when we first met, he told me about the entire trip. He called me, explained to me what was going on, what was happening. And I said, wow, this person is doing something that I always dreamed about doing and always wanted to do. And of course, at the time we were dating, and now we're married. And because of connecting with him, God connected us together. I really was, it became believable for me, more believable. And I was participating in doing things on a small scale already, just locally, coaching programs, went away to mastermind programs, but nothing on a large scale. And I started doing things on a larger scale. I was so fortunate enough to participate in Dr. Myron Golden's coaching program alongside with my husband. Now, this man, he makes you believe you can do conquer the world, and you want to operate and be with people that can help you believe that way. Raise your level of awareness, raise your vibration, raise your mindset, how you think. And one of the reasons why I love him is because he also talks about Christ and doing all of these things. He uses scripture, and he doesn't just talk about it. He really uses the word and implement it with his business and development and his cultural programs. And so I had the wonderful opportunity to participate in that for an entire year alongside with my husband, and it was just amazing. And then I did some other coaching programs that helped me in the industry that I'm one of the industries that I'm in is with the finances is Marvin Mitchell. He really helped me with believing, taking it deeper as far as being a wealth creator, creating wealth, and then also his background is in life insurance, and that's what my background is also in. So he really showed me how I can use life insurance to really help people grow and save money and use it as another source of wealth. So and I've participated in loads of other people. Douglas Isa is another one. I did his mastermind coaching program. It was just so many things. So every year I participated in something that helped me grow, whether it was the personal development. I did a women's coaching program that helped me really focus on myself, my identity, believing in myself, helping me really love my identity, my physical appearance, and all of that more. So all of these things, it really exists. Like you really cannot grow, continue, like you said, being at that same place with the same tools that you have. If you see somebody that is successful and moving in that place, you start getting in the room and putting yourself in places to make sure that you are in the room, getting that information and growing. And one of the things that I would recommend is because I did not do this right away and I still had to fight it, is once you get the information, you have to execute, you have to produce. So I still had that fear factor and the imposter syndrome. Can I really do this? Can I God opened these doors for me to meet these wonderful people that's given me, as they say, success leave clues, knowledge and nuggets and their stories and strategies about how they did it, and would say, go do this particular way and do it this way. And I'm going asking questions, and it still took me a long time to implement. So then I still had to look at myself and say, Takisha, what is going on? So, like I said, we're always growing. So now I have to really continue to say, okay, you can do this. You've been in the rooms, you've been in the environments. Why aren't you producing and moving at a higher level? And so those are the things. So I would say coaching programs. One of the books that I read is what is it? What would the Rockefellers do? So I'm still reading that. There's another book. It's called Financial Trauma. Let me see, and it is uh, it is called Breaking Free from Financial Trauma: A Practical Guide to Embracing Emotional Health and Financial Freedom. And so I'm reading books about trauma. I'm reading books about emotional freedom, the connection between the financial trauma and the emotional, how it goes hand in hand, how we think about money, how we see ourselves with money. Do we think we can ever achieve, really go to a certain extent? And I remember somebody saying that everybody wasn't created to be wealthy. I think that's a lie. I don't agree with that. I believe that because when you think, I know that God says that the poor will always be among you. But if you are really a person operating in Christ and you call yourself a Christian, God is not going to have you being poor. He's not going to have you living paycheck to paycheck. It's something that we're doing wrong. It's something that we're not applying. It's something that we're missing. It's something that we're not doing wrong. We don't have to be poor as children of God. And then and people in general. You could apply the principles. That's what I'm learning. I want to know, I'm still learning now, God, what are all your principles? What are all your laws to say about, generating wealth, creating money? And one of the main things is so simple. But if a man doesn't work, he doesn't eat. He said, I don't know, I might be getting mixed up or something. But it's so simple. If you don't work, you're not gonna eat, and you don't want to do just enough. And we have to be careful with what we were told in society as far as how we get our identity. Our identity does not come from this world. We are in this world, but we're not of the world. So it's just a lot that I'm constantly learning. One of the books that I'm reading now, I don't have it to grab, but it's called The Guardian Within, and it's talking about mental health illness and the emotional trauma that people go through. So I'm just excited. I wish I could just read all day and learn all this information
Don't
because
you love it? Oh
yeah,
my God. It's like you literally are addicted to it. Once you get on the momentum of reading those books and getting the information and knowledge, you say, wait a minute, I can do this.
yeah,
Wow. What? I didn't know this. You almost like have an aha moment, like, oh my goodness, are you serious? This is really real. There are actually people out there that actually do this and they look like me. I'm be honest, we always be transparent with the words. Listen, I'm a woman and you actually built this. Okay, so people have been building this for years and years. You're like, oh my goodness, you're like, I just found out this. It's
right,
almost like that when you figure this out when you read the books. I'm just being honest with you. You know what I'm saying?
it's
Yeah.
true. It's
Hmm.
really true. There's a lot of things that I learned within the last 2 years that I never knew. And in regards to finances and strategies to help people build wealth and sustain wealth. And I would say because of that, my business has grown because of that. And then it gives me more confidence too, because you know that it's proof that other people have used it. And when I say other people, what we have known as the wealthy, like the Rockefellers or Disney, they've used things like this, or people that started I can't remember the gentleman that started McDonald's, Ray Kroc, excuse me. Um,
Yes, Ray Kroc.
right. They've used all of these strategies.
Hmm. Oh
They,
yeah.
they use them all. And there's another book, it's called Think and Grow Rich.
Yes.
And
Oh my goodness. One of my favorite books.
and the
Love to
rich
get some sources out of that.
and the richest man in Babylon, right?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
and one of the concepts that I really started holding to my heart more and more is I always heard the term "pay yourself first," but I didn't know what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking,
Oh
but
yeah.
all these bills are paying. How do you mean pay myself first? I need to save some money. Like, what if I pay all my bills, but if something goes on and I can't go get some
Mm-hmm.
cash out
Oh
of my
yeah.
somewhere,
Yeah.
then I'm in deep trouble. And
Yes.
I remember this pastor said, if you are in a place where you are serving God and you can't afford to get a new tire because you have a flat tire, then you need to reevaluate what you're doing.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Isn't that amazing when you
Yes,
get that information?
yes,
It's just like wow, some of the things you think you have I didn't understand that, I can actually what did you hear the words of I can actually create my own bank, you
yes.
know,
That's the one of the things that I work
right?
on with the life insurance, helping people become
Hmm.
a bank and using this strategy as a life insurance agent. And I do retirement financial planning, and that's what I said. I'm learning the tools to help people build wealth and sustain wealth because I know what I've experienced, and I know that there's other means and sources that where your money is safeguarded, where your money is protected, and your money can grow at a compounded interest. And this is totally legal. You're not losing money in the market. So people, just like you said, need to be educated of different resources that's out there, and then you may be able to make a sound decision. Some people still invest in the stock market. I'm not doing that right now because I don't understand it. So I'm not investing my money in the stock market. And people that can afford to do it, and I think somebody else said, if you can afford, you should never take a risk where you're going to lose everything. And people have their money in the stock market where they could lose all of their money because they're not educated and they don't know what's going on. Now, if you have a percentage and that's what you're going to do and you can afford to do it and you plan accordingly, but if you're not, you don't even understand.
Exactly. So, in other words, you need to have a mentor, someone who knows what they're doing in order for you to really feel secure about that. So, it's not saying that you can't do it, but it said use wisdom when you do that process. Just have, your arsenal filled up. So, you're like, okay, I can do that. I have a mentor that's had to educate me when it comes to this.
Right.
So, therefore, I can continue to move forward in that path.
Yes,
I love it.
making an educated decision. I remember reading
Absolutely.
that with
Mm-hmm.
Jake's book, making an educated or a calculated decision. So making sure you plan for the decision that you're making. And of course, you plan as much as you possibly can, you know.
Exactly.
Sometimes our plans don't go as we want, but plan as much as you possibly can. Yes. So, and oh, just with my point about paying yourself first,
Mm-hmm.
I never kind of really grips that. And I remember working with a mentor, and he said he was giving his example of how he got started in the financial industry with helping people and being a life insurance agent. And I don't like to say life insurance agent because people have a negative concept or outlook about that, but it's really not. As my husband said, life insurance is for life. You're living your life for now. But the strategies that we use of becoming your own bank. A lot of people just think, oh, you're trying to kill me, and life insurance is when you pass away. But life insurance, it has the word life, so it's like life while you're still living. You can use it now. So I thought that was an interesting twist that my husband put on that. But when my mentor said, pay yourself first, you're saying you need to save, as I said, for something you need to change your tire. You don't want to have paying all your monies and bills, all your money and bills, and you can't even change your tire or buy a new tire. And he said, you pay yourself first. And he said, you have bills to pay. He said, you better figure it out. And I said, wow. He said, figure it out on how you're going to pay those bills and get those bills paid. So, in other words, figure out what gifts you have, what talents you have, what habits you need to change, your thought process you need to, and figure it out. Because you got to pay yourself first, and you still got to take care of your responsibilities. Take the time, sit down, get educated, take classes, connect with people, and figure it out.
Ooh, so first of all, you just said something that was just true amazing. Definitely, pretty much you need to get a coach like you in
Yeah.
order for you to get some education and get more of those more educated responses when it comes to finances, because you know exactly what to do. You've been through the process. You actually achieved so much success when it comes to this. So we definitely need to get someone on board like you in order to even go through there confidently and actually able to go through that process. So that's the brilliance of you, Takisha. I just really feel so amazing about that. And I'm able to really, I feel like I'm stronger and I'm able to do things when I have someone like you in my corner in
Well,
order for me to move forward in that process. Wow, this is amazing. You said so much about mindset. You know what I'm saying? We have to change our mindset in order for us to move forward and to do something different.
right.
We can't just think we're just going to do it. No, we're not really going to do it that way. We actually have to begin to understand that we need to go through this process. And I believe, Takisha, you actually showed this with us, definitely when it comes to this summit coming up. Wow. What do you think for us that we need to move forward in when we actually embark and actually registering for this amazing summit? What do you think? What tools are they're going to be able to be embarked in this summit, that you're going to share with us? Because I feel that you're going to share with us something that we don't even know that we need.
Right. So definitely mindset, just tools around and resources about changing your mindset, the things that you need to hear, the things that you need to read in regards to that. Also, resources as far as educating yourself, as we talked about books. I have my coaching program that's going to be coming up very soon in regards to financial trauma. So taking, like you said, a course or some classes about that and how it just impacts so many things. Can you believe? I'm just say this. I used to be afraid to take off of work. Had to leave. Was afraid to take off.
Really?
Yes. So you're talking about a deep rooted place of fear. I used to be afraid to do that. Afraid to take off of work. Oh, I don't want to lose my job. Oh, what are they going to think about me if I take too many days off? What? I'm not just taking days off to take days off. I was taking days off because I was tired. I needed to rest. Maybe I wasn't feeling well, or I was going to get training that could help me grow. And I had the time and I had to leave. But can you believe I had fear? So we're going to talk about those things that creep up inside of you that you don't even realize that you're operating in every day.
Oh,
Afraid
yeah.
to go for work? Are you serious? Like I
Yeah.
said, it wasn't like I was a bad employee, just abusing my leave, taking. Oh no, I had to leave. It was bad. It was really
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
After
Well,
that,
something.
after
That's
the
something.
incident of
Wow.
the trauma, when I went through that, that's when fear set in anymore and more, and it was a really big fight. I was afraid to take off work. I was saving money and not paying all my bills because I wanted to save money. But still, you have to be responsible. You have to pay people. You do. So, but there's different times and different points to do that and how you do it. So, we'll talk about different strategies and methods on how to begin to get out of debt, different strategies and methods on how to start building wealth, and then what can you do to start sustaining that wealth. And then also habits that you need to change. Things that you need to work on that you need to change, the habits. And you can still try to change a habit, but if you have the same mindset, you're going to slip right back into it. So you have to have a level of awareness, a breakthrough, or what I've learned, a paradigm shift.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Honestly, you know what, Takisha, I'm so excited, for this amazing summit because you're going to really just share with us so many things that we need to definitely begin to embark for our lives. I feel that, just even the mind, body, and soul, just, even our finances, but at the same our well-being, our health, being able to, take off, being able to have that self-love to just nurture yourself, to get more information for yourself in order for you to educate yourself also as well. And sometimes just to take a break, take that time to do self-love for yourself. You're going to show us all those different resources within this summit. And honestly, we're definitely going to leave, definitely, well equipped in order for us to move forward in life just by being able to get these resources from you.
Yeah.
My goodness. What I want to know is, as we begin to wind down for today, what are the one thing that you really want, each and every one of us to understand that, that how we can actually achieve this success, like we can actually achieve success for the year 2025 when it's coming up. Let us know one thing that you want us to remember for ourselves in our life that we should definitely be in to achieve success moving forward.
Okay. What came to me immediately is that you never have to stay where you are. You can always change your situation. You don't have to live in a state or in a place of hopelessness and fear. You don't have to do that. You don't have to stay stuck. You can change it. And I know a person may be saying, well, my financial situation is this, my financial situation is that. You know, that's what I said. Get educated, go to classes, refuse to stay stuck, refuse to stay in the same place. Take an inventory about your life where it is now. Are you really happy with it? What are some things you want to change? How do you want to grow? And remember, it could change. It really can change. I would remember reading a book, Dr. Cindy Trim, and she said your life can change. It could be totally different in 90 days. And I'm thinking, how could it be different in 90 days? But it can. You have to have faith, but you have to start taking baby steps. You have to start believing and taking baby steps. And you have to believe that you're here for a reason on this earth. You're still here and you still have a purpose to accomplish. You're not just here just to merely exist. You have a purpose, just like there's 1,000 doctors in the world, or 1,000, I would say, psychologists, social workers, doctors, therapists, so many. But you know what? There's a high demand of them right now. You have teachers everywhere, but teachers are needed all over the world. So there is room for you and whoever your audience is and whatever you call to do, there's room for you in the earth to get that out, to get that purpose out and achieve success. And it's not only until you start tapping into that purpose and what you're supposed to do where you will fully feel feel fulfilled inside. I was talking to someone, working with them, and I said, aren't you supposed to be doing something like starting a business? And I just see her on a regular basis, and I say, okay, what is the name of your business? Or you need to do this and you need to do that. And I'm talking to her every day, and she's so excited. And with her, she's slow walking the process. But now she has a domain name, she has a business name, she has her mission statement, because you don't have to stay stuck. And sometimes you just need that person to help you. But that's what I want you to walk away with. You don't have to stay stuck. You can really change your life by baby steps. You don't have to do this whole thing, quit your job, travel the world. If that's what God is leading you to do that. But small steps, take a class, pay one bill off at a time. Do a walk 10 or 15 minutes if it is, if you want to lose weight. If it's some, take an exercise class. There's still so many things to do. I still want to take, what is it, salsa dancing classes. I always wanted to take karate. I wanted to take boxing. But there's so many opportunities to do so many great things, that God did not limit us and put us in a box just to achieve this one thing or work 9 to 5. And it's not just about hustling. Oh, I need more money. It's about truly fulfilling your purpose and operating your purpose. And your gift will make room for you. And once your gift will make room for you, God will put you before kings. And so once He does that, then if you focus on serving Him first, the finances will truly come. And then faith without works is dead. So you can have all the faith that you want, but you have to put some things into action. So like I said, taking that one class, paying that one bill off, taking that 10-minute walk, whatever it is, you do have that inside of you to change your life.
Woo! Yes. Wow. Takisha, thank you so much for coming on our episode today on the Confused to Focus Talks with Lakeisha, just for us to really go in deep on what you're going to be sharing with us at this Breaking Free from Toxic Pattern Summit. I feel that we are well equipped and we're going to be charged up to receive the knowledge and information that we're able to move forward in our success, and definitely for us to break those patterns, for us to let them go and actually begin to achieve success. We have clarity moving forward ahead. You know what, Takisha, you got to let us know, the listener viewers, how to know how to connect with you and to follow you and everything moving forward ahead, Queen.
Yes, so you can go to my website. It's purposelifetherapy.com. So purpose with the ED, so purposelifetherapy.com. And it's all one word, purposelifetherapy.com. And you can find my contact information, my Instagram, my social media pages, and that's how you get in contact with me.
Whew. This is amazing, Takisha. Thank you so much for coming on the episode today. Honestly, I'm looking forward to connecting with you on the Summit, Queen, definitely on October 24th through the 26th. It's going to be an amazing time. And listen, you got to stay tuned for Takisha. Follow her because she is the truth. She's going to give you some true nuggets on how you can persevere to break free from toxic patterns finally for a good family. And I promise you, you're going to be well equipped. So Takisha, thank you so much for coming on the show today. And of course, we look forward to connecting with you again.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. I feel so blessed and I feel happy inside, and I have a sense of fulfillment that I was allowed to be on your platform, Lakeisha, and share hope for people, especially in a major area of their life, finances, that will help them solve so many problems. I'm not saying it will solve as far as that void, but it will help that the basic needs, Maslow law of basic needs, and you'll be able to help other people and live without stress and be able to thrive in your life. So I'm so glad that I was here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Definitely, we look forward to seeing you again, Queen. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Take care.
Yes. Oh my goodness, family. That was Takisha Wilson. Definitely, she was amazing. I look forward to seeing her, family. I promise you it's going to be an amazing conversation we're going to have on the October 24th and 26th at the Breaking Free from Toxic Patterns Summit, family. Definitely, it's going to be amazing. Look, it's not too late, family. You can register today at IamLakeisha.com. Again, that is IamLakeisha.com for us to connect moving forward ahead, definitely with all of the resources I have on my website, and definitely for us to connect and definitely for us to move forward ahead. You already know, definitely my amazing merch store is definitely going to be there. The I'm So Rockstar t-shirts, which I got on right now, definitely it's going to be available in all colors, definitely in pink and blue, family, for all women, family of all sizes, and definitely for our young ladies, definitely for all of you to understand just how amazing a warrior that you are. Definitely, if we move forward ahead, don't forget to get your t-shirts for yourself and for your friends and your family. Definitely also make sure you connect with us moving forward ahead on the Confused to Focus Talks with Lakeisha every week on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, family. You already know it. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here for today. This episode today was truly amazing. Definitely understand how we can break free from the financial distress and for us to navigate in life's trials together. Listen, you already know how we end our shows. In all you do, lead with confidence, understanding, and love always. Definitely make sure you subscribe, family, and make sure you connect with us again. Appreciate each and every one of you. Have an amazing and impactful day.